everyone, it's Suzanne again. I hope you're enjoying my video series on my best dating tips ever. So on today's video, we're going to talk about what makes a man disappear, because I know every woman out there has had this happen at least once. You have, I have, and it doesn't matter if it's after a couple of dates or a couple of months. When a man disappears, it can be the most hurtful thing, because what we start to do as women is we start to look inward and go, oh my God, what did I do wrong? What did he not like about me? Or whatever it is. And it's a self-destructive process that we go through when a man disappears. So I want to talk about some of the things that make a man disappear. Because I think a lot of times when the man does disappear, it can leave you without any closure, and it makes it hard for you to move on without knowing why some men disappear. So let's talk about the first thing about why a man disappears. And the first one is he's not ready to commit and you are. So when I say that, what I mean by that is you've been dating a guy, whether it's after several dates or even a couple of months, is that you're progressing along in the relationship and you think that you're going somewhere with this relationship and that you're ready for a commitment. And he starts feeling that, but he's just not there. If he starts feeling the pressure from you, even if you don't say anything, if he starts feeling the pressure that you want a commitment, that's what's going to make him disappear. So it's really important to realize that in the beginning stages of dating, even if you're ready for a commitment, you have to think about where he's at and whether or not he's ready for a commitment. Because if you put too much pressure on a guy, and like I said, even if you don't say the word, but he feels that you want a commitment, that's going to make him disappear. Okay, so let's talk about the second biggest reason that men disappear. And it's that you had sex with him too soon. Because quite honestly, ladies, I hate to say it because I know it makes a lot of women feel uneasy when I say this, it's just sex to him. And you need to understand something about men and how men and women are wired completely differently when it comes to sex, especially in the beginning stages of dating. Is that a man can have sex with a woman and have no emotional connection. And so it's really just sex to him. Whereas a woman, as women, we become more emotionally attached to a man sometimes when we have sex with him. I mean, obviously there are some women that can detach their emotions from the sex process, but there's very few that can. So it's really important to realize that men can have sex with anyone and have no emotional attachment. So it's really important to realize that when you're ready to have sex with him, that you think he's ready too. And when I say ready, a man, first of all, is always ready. Any man is going to try and get you into bed. But if you want a relationship and you want something more, then what I mean by that is that he's emotionally ready to have sex with you too. You want to make sure that a man has an emotional connection to you, because then he's less likely to disappear because he sees all these great things about you. He's emotionally attached to you, and he likes you and he thinks everything's great about you. But if he's just having sex with you and he has no emotional attachment, he's more likely to disappear. Okay, and that's really, really important to remember, because I have too many women that will say that they think that if they have sex with a guy, that that's a way they can keep him. And you can't. It's not going to happen. And I want to address one other thing when it comes to sex, because I get this question a lot from a lot of my clients is, well, when is the right time to have sex with a man? And the right answer is there is no right answer, because, and I'll tell you why, is because you can't put a time frame on it, because everyone's situation is different and it really depends on you and your interactions with the man that you're dating. So I'll give you an example. Is we have couple A. They've been dating for 2 months and they've been seeing each other consistently on a regular basis each week, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And so everything's going great and they're both emotionally connected, and no one feels like, he feels like she's going to disappear or he feels like he's going to disappear. They don't feel like that. Everything's just going great. Then there's couple B, where they've been dating the same amount of time, but she maybe sees him once a week, and then she doesn't see him for another couple of weeks, and then he texts her or calls her again and says he wants to see her. So they've been dating for 2 months, but it's been kind of off and on in the 2 months. So do you see why you can't put a time frame on the right time to have sex with a man? It really has to depend on you and your interactions with the man. And it's really important, again, I'm going to say this, is that he has an emotional connection to you, because don't try to have sex with a man, because that's not what's going to keep him. Okay, so let's jump to the third reason why I see a lot of men disappear, is that in the beginning stages of dating, or even in the later stages, I see this happen a lot, is that you're too needy. And when I say that, what I mean by that is, in the beginning stages of dating, maybe you want him to call you or text you all the time, and when he doesn't, you freak out, or you call and text him too much, and he just feels like way too much pressure from you, and that he feels like he's the center of your life. So it's really, really important that you want, and I've said this before in my other video, is that you want to have your own life and not be too needy, because a man wants to know that you have your own life, he has his own life, but then you come together, and that you're not always depending on him for everything and anything to make your happiness happen in your life. It's not going to happen. So that's third reason why I see a lot of men disappear. So let's talk about the last reason that I see a lot of men disappear. And I'm smiling and kind of giggling a little when I say it, is because you've all heard this before, and there's actually a book written about it, and that is that he's just not that into you. And it sounds so harsh, but it's so true. And the thing is that you need to understand something about the male psyche, and that is that when a man wants to see you, he will do everything in his power to see you. He'll pursue you, he'll call you, he'll ask you out on dates. He's contacting you here and there, and then he disappears. He's just not that into you. And I hear too many women, when things happen where he contacts you and then he disappears for a couple weeks, and then he reappears and he texts you again and asks you out, they'll make excuses for him in their mind, and they'll say, well, he's so busy with work, he has a lot of pressure on him, so I understand that's why he's not calling me or texting me. And that's the thing, is that when you start making excuses for him, guess what? He's not that busy. It's like I said, if a man wants to be with you, he will call you and he will text you and he will make time for you. Men make time for what's important to them. So you need to realize that. And if you start to realize that he's just not into you, then it's time to move on to the man that is right for you and that is into you. Okay, so as with every video, I like to challenge you at the end, because remember what I said, if you keep doing things the same way, you're going to keep getting the same results. So you can watch all my videos, but if you don't do anything and start making changes in your life, then your dating life is still going to stay the same. So on this video, what I want to challenge you to do is to do two things, because I think it's really, really important. Is number one is, when you start dating the next guy that you date, is that I don't want you to jump into bed too quickly. I really want you to start thinking about when is the right time to have sex with him, because it's not going to be on the third date, I'll tell you that. Okay, it's going to be when you have an emotional connection to him and he does too, because you want a man to be emotionally invested in you before you have sex with him, because he's less likely going to disappear. The second thing that I'm going to challenge you on is, again, when you start dating a man, I don't want you to fast forward the relationship because you feel like it's going so great for you and that you want a commitment. Because again, if a man feels all this pressure to make a commitment when he's not ready, it's what's going to make him disappear. So move along the same pace that he is, that's right for both of you, not just him, what's right for both of you. And let's just say that you're moving along faster and he's not, and he keeps pulling back and he's not ready for commitment, then he's not the right man for you. And that's when you should actually disappear. So those are my challenges for you today on this video.